Let's talk about Leeds. They're looking at Jack Clark as a forward option. Clearly something they're in desperate need of after losing almost all their starting forwards from last year. Pete, is this a player that we expect to see a move made by the end of the window?
I'm not surprised with the links. Obviously, Jack Clark for me is one of the best players in the Championship. He proved that at Sunderland last season with the amount of goals he scored and the assists as well. We all know Leeds are desperately searching for attacking reinforcements following the sales of Jorginho Rutter and Crescencio Somerville. Obviously, he's got previous Leeds links, having come through the ranks at Leeds before his move to Tottenham. Now they ended up at Sunderland. I find it a very hard deal to do for Leeds. I think Sunderland will be doing everything they can to keep hold of him. They'll have a huge price tag on his head as well, and I do think there will be Premier League interested in Jack Clark probably before the end of the window as well. So again, makes it even more difficult for Leeds to compete with that as well. So yeah, I'm sure he's on the list at Leeds, but I just don't see a deal happening.
And Paul, they're also linked with Carlos Forbes, a different forward, a little bit of a different profile, but obviously someone who also likes to play out wide. Could you see them signing him or maybe two attackers? Obviously a lot of replacements needed.
Listen, they've lost a lot of good players, and there's going to be a lot of unrest at Leeds unless they sign players. Jack Clark, Forbes, they're more attacking midfielders, wide players. They're crying out for a number 9. Patrick Bamford's not been fit, he's not scored goals, and his form's not been good enough for a long time. Matteo Joseph's been given an opportunity this season. I was at the Middlesbrough game. They didn't create a lot in the game before that, the Portsmouth game when they drew 3-3. They created so many chances. Gnonto, Dan James, those two players, that's the area that you're looking at, Clark and Forbes. Those are the players that would come in to potentially replace Somerville, Sinistera, Ruta, not a number 9. I think Leeds have got more pressing issues. I think they need a number 9. But I think the biggest pressing issue is when you actually take a step back and look what Leeds are doing. They've sold Archie Gray for 30 million. They've sold Ruta for 40 million. Somerville for 25 million. Kamara, who only just joined the club last season, for 10 million. That's 100 plus million walked out the door. They've had an influx of money come from Red Bull. So all of a sudden now you're thinking, what's going on at Leeds? All these player sales? This is a club that wants to be promoted. We're looking to be challenging for automatic promotion. Playoffs at least this season. Yet they've lost over £100 million worth of talent. They've paid a reported 10 million for Joe Rodon. Rothwell's coming on loan, and you look at the other signings and what the team's desperately crying out for. Unless there's some investment between now and the end of the window from Leeds, there's going to be some serious questions asked by the fans. Yes, they're linked to these players, Jack Clark, Forbes. They need a number 9. They need a squad reinforcement. They need players coming in. They've got over £100 million plus worth of player sales. Now, unless they start bringing players in, that to me looks like asset stripping.
Most certainly, and at least one player is apparently really wanting to move to Leeds, and that's Dejan Lubicic. They definitely need help in that area of the park as well, Pete. Could you see this deal finally getting over the line? He's been linked for a long time.
Yeah, it's a deal that I'm sure Leeds will be trying to push to get done before the close of the window next week. Makes a lot of sense for Leeds, as Paul's mentioned, that they've lost a lot of key players in this summer transfer window so far, especially in that midfield engine room as well. Archie Gray moving to Tottenham and Glenn Kamara moving to France as well. So it's definitely an area of the team that Daniel Farke wants to strengthen in, and Lubicic is a player that the club have been keeping tabs on for a while now. I think they've had an initial offer rejected by Cologne earlier in the window, and I think Leeds will come back with a new improved offer to try and get this deal done. And the good thing for Leeds is that there's a willingness from Lubicic to make this move to Ellen Road, so that will hopefully smooth progress in this deal. And I think if they can get around £7 million bid in, I would fully expect Cologne to accept that as well. So yeah, it could be a welcome signing for Leeds. An Austrian international, he's at a good age at 26 as well, and I definitely think it's an area of the team that they have been lacking in this early part of the season as well, and an extra body in the building will come as a welcome boost to Daniel Farke.